FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. Good morning. Thank you for tuning into The Source, WOCA. We are broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall this beautiful Wednesday morning. It is August 14th, 2019. Good morning, Robin. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm okay. Let me tell you what the weatherman is telling me to tell you. He's telling me to tell you it's 80 degrees right now, and that temperatures will reach 88 today before it's all said and done. And he's also telling me to tell you there's a 50% chance we'll see rain, most likely from noon on. So the first part of the day looks pretty unrainy.
Okay.
Tomorrow, pretty much the same thing. 58% chance of rain. Friday, about a 40% chance of rain. Let's look at the weekend real quickly. Looks like about a 50% chance of rain both days. High temperatures.
Nice.
Today, the highest, according to this. The rest of the week in the mid-80s. Today in the upper 80s. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me tell you what we're doing this morning. 7:35, we'll open up the phone lines. If you want to call in, you are definitely invited to do that. What do you want to talk about? That's up to you. We keep it informal. This is our morning time when we, sip on our coffee, or in today's case, tea sprinkled with ants.
I know. I mean, all of a sudden, they come out from everywhere. You don't see them, and then all of a sudden, they're in your cup.
No. Here's the thing I'm wondering.
Okay.
Tea sprinkled with ants. Now, the tea has no creamer in it. It is, you can see through it. Now, all these years I've been drinking coffee.
Yes.
You cannot see through it. Have there been ants in my drink the entire time?
Oh, I bet because that creamer is kind of sweet. So, wow.
I don't know.
I'm guessing.
I don't know.
My head.
Anyway, so, all right, so 7:35, we'll open the phone lines. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
8:05, Galen Unold will be on the air with us. What did I have for Galen today? Oh, yeah, rock climbing.
Oh, okay. Let's see if he likes that.
I'm talking about the rock walls, the walls that you see, the temporary ones that are set up.
Oh, yes.
Everything sooner or later has an extreme version, and there are now extreme versions of rock climbing walls in America.
Nice.
Extreme rock climbing walls, and the places that have them, the top 12 best rock climbing walls in America.
Nice.
And I have the fastest rock wall climber. Oh my gosh! So we'll talk about him as well. Let's with Galen. So let's see. I don't know if he's ever done it. I've never done it. I think I'd die if I did that.
I've seen it. We've seen it at Light Up Ocala a few times. I wonder if the fastest rock climber guy is tethered, or if he just is like a Spider-Man guy.
I don't know. So Galen is what we'll do. That's what we'll do with Galen at 8:05. 8:35 is, well, that's pretty plain and straightforward. We just read the news, keep our opinions to ourselves. Tomorrow is the first day of 3 days, and marking the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Music Festival.
Nice.
I wish I had a soundbite right now, but I don't. So I have some information about that, some facts about it, some myths that have persisted, is that the word?
Yes.
Throughout the years that probably weren't true. So Woodstock's 50th anniversary is, I don't talk about Woodstock a whole lot, not that I should, or not that I even would. But it's the 50th anniversary, so I have some information about it. 9:35. How many times have you said the kids aren't learning anything these days in school? How many times have you been so condescending to our educational system, but not really taking the time? Well, if you are so good, then you should be able to pass the modern day school English exam. It is English, the language you speak.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an English exam from high school today. This is today's high school English exam, okay?
Okay,
We're
excellent.
going to all take the test, and I'm going to fail. All right.
Probably me too.
Carl Page will be in the studio. He is a singer and a songwriter. I think he's from Salt Springs. He considers himself trop rock.
Yes.
And it's a new genre to me, tropical Americana.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he'll be in the studio bringing his guitar, I presume.
Yes, he is.
Correct?
He's going to be playing a couple of his original songs.
So looking forward to having him in the studio. Have we met his wife or his girlfriend or something? There was some lady in here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah?
we have. Yeah, I think we
Okay,
met his girlfriend.
we'll find
or
out.
his wife. His wife, I think.
Scott Johnston is coming on the air with us. He's a humorist. He worked in the finance industry, profession, I should say, for 35 years. He's got a book called Campus Land, a satiric howl at today's elite educational institutions. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. You're listening to The Source, WOCA, and I got to fill in some time. So I will just say blah, blah, chicky, chicky, cha-cha. That's all. That's all I got to say.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. It's reported that guards keeping an eye on the accused child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein in New York before his suicide faked logs showing he was being checked on.
The New York Times and Associated Press saying the two corrections officers charged with checking on the most high-profile prisoner in the country every 30 minutes were in fact sleeping on the job for up to 3 hours and now suspected of falsifying logs showing the contrary.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Those guards have been placed on leave with the warden reassigned. A new rule that some immigrants on welfare cannot stay in the country has acting U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director Ken Cuccinelli revising the poem on the Statue of Liberty to "Give me your tired, your poor, who can stand on their own 2 feet."
We have always, as that poem expresses, sought those who yearn to be free, as it says in that poem, but they still need to be able to support themselves.
He was on Fox News at night. This is Fox News.
Pros like you expect more out of the brands you use every day. Lowe's gets it. It's why we stock the best brands so you can get the job done right every time. And now we're offering Pro customers a chance to give one of those brands a try for free. Right now, pros can get up to 10 gallons of Valspar paint absolutely free and experience firsthand how Valspar delivers a smooth application and reliable color for all your touch-up work. Take your next paint job to the next level. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in Orlando and Phoenix stores only. Requires return authorization number. See Pro Desk for details.
Summer is here, and Matt's got the barbecue out all ready to grill. That's why he trusts Super Poly Grip, so he can enjoy his steak with full confidence.
Poly Grip.
Sounds like there's a party going on, but something's missing. The birthday gal's arrived, and thanks to Polydent, her bright smile is anything but a surprise.
Polydent.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. The Appleton Museum of Art has a new director. Museum officials announced yesterday that Jason Stuber will take over for Cindy Morrison, who had been with the museum since 2012. Florida State Representative Anna Escamani has filed a bill that would prohibit private schools from discrimination based on a student's disability, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Broward County Sheriff Gregory Toney says the new state-of-the-art surveillance center will monitor live video feeds at more than 260 public schools and administrative buildings in his county. Detectives in Orlando are asking for the public's help in identifying a group of teenagers who attacked 2 men with their skateboards. A Mount Dora Homes surveillance camera caught an Amazon driver delivering a package and then taking a bicycle that belongs to the homeowner's daughter. And Disney World has added more hotel quick service restaurants to its mobile ordering service. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Times of sun and clouds on this Wednesday with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon hours. The high 89 at the coast, 93 inland. Wednesday night, partly cloudy skies with a shower or thunderstorm in the area early. Low 73 inland, 77 at the coast. Thursday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon. The high 86 at the coast, 90 inland. And for Friday, clouds will limit sunshine along with a shower and thunderstorm. The high in the 80s to near 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Freddy's Specialty Sundaes. Classic American treats. Made with freshly churned, rich and creamy frozen custard. Welcome to Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The taste that brings you back.
So now that you have your heart set on Freddy's, all you need to know is how to get there. That part is easy. Just go down Highway 200 in Ocala east of I-75. Then look for the giant frozen custard cone on the wall.
Honey Baked Ham at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue has new management. For our listeners, they're offering a 10% discount. Just mention this ad.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including our zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish. Also available, stump grinding, rototilling, and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Howell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
I'm Jan Marino from Palm Garden, and we are the best. As a matter of fact, we're the best of the best. You can put us to the test, and we'll keep caring without any rest. The Ocala Star banner has a contest, you see. You can vote for Palm Garden, and you can vote for me. Go to ocala.com. It is easy to vote. You can vote every day, so please take note. Palm Garden really is the best. As a matter of fact, we're the best of the best.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Nice looking Wednesday, and temperature's nice right now, 81. 88, the expected high today, with a 50% chance of rain happening or beginning anywhere around noon-ish or so. But yesterday there was a kind of a pretty rain in the evening. It was raining and it was sunny. When I was a kid, you called that a sun shower. Did you call that a sun shower? Oh, I was not in here. So yeah, it was kind of pretty to see the rain come. All right, let's see. The phone lines are open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. All right, let me start with the Statue of Liberty poem.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you know what the Statue of Liberty poem says? Let me read it to you. The whole poem is it's called "The New Colossus." The New Colossus. It was written by Emma Lazarus. November 2nd, 1883 is the date. And I believe she wrote it, if I remember right. I didn't find this on, I didn't look it up early enough to look it up. But I think I remember from years ago when this subject came up on this same show. I think it was written to raise money for the pedestal of the statue, correct?
Yeah, because the United States, the deal with France was the United States was going to build the pedestal, and then France would provide the statue.
So this is what she wrote, and what is on the Statue of Liberty pedestal to this day. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. As far as I'm concerned, that should not be changed.
No.
As far as I'm concerned,
no.
The intent of the whole idea of America was to create a place where you did not have to depend on the government, where you did not have to worry that the government was going to tell you where or what or when or how you can pray. There were laws put into place, and nobody denies that, but the idea to be free to worship as you want or not, free to do the job you want to do, free to fail at an attempt to make that job happen for yourself, free to beg if you want to beg.
Yes.
But there was nothing about that said that what we will do as a government is collect money from people called taxes, give ourselves nice homes because we don't have a real job, we work as government officials, and then promise you some of that money so that you vote for us. That is not what that. There's nothing in that poem that says that. So why do we need to change the poem? We don't.
No, we don't.
I'm not saying anybody's seriously making a suggestion to change the poem. I know better than that. But there is news this morning, and you probably heard last night, that the acting director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, in an interview, revised the poem on the Statue of Liberty pedestal.
Idiot.
So to suggest that only immigrants who can stand on their own 2 feet are welcome in the United States. Ken Cuccinelli tweaked the famous poem. Now, he's doing it tongue-in-cheek, I know, but still, people are talking about it, and I don't know, it's just crazy how the world sometimes thinks. Let's see, what did he say? He said, would you also agree that Emma Lazarus, oh, this was the question, would you also agree that Emma Lazarus's words etched on the Statue of Liberty, give me, you're tired, you're poor, are also a part of the American ethos? That was from Rachel Martin, who was hosting the show called Morning Edition, which he was a guest on. Did I tell you his name? Ken Cuccinelli. He says, they certainly are. Give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge. That's what he says it should be changed to. Again, he's kidding. He's putting tongue in cheek, but he means it. And I think he's right that you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet, that the government shouldn't necessarily feel obligated to support you. You have the freedom to fail.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the message on the statue, the message of America is that we don't control you. We the people. That's supposed to be what the government is. We don't control you. We govern you in that we will make sure that there's a regulated militia of some sort. But you and I are supposed to be part of that regulated militia.
Exactly.
You and I are supposed to have the right to defend ourselves. And when you hear people talking about taking weapons away from people, the best question to ask is, okay, well then what shall we do to defend ourselves? What should we do? What should a person do? And if you're going to take them away from the poor, then you should also take the armed guard away from the rich.
Yeah.
Because if a poor man can't defend his mobile home, then a rich guy shouldn't be able to have his mansion defended by somebody who was hired with a gun.
Exactly.
That's not what our founding fathers wanted. And our founding fathers wanted us to be able to defend ourselves against the government itself.
Yeah.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary, et cetera, to protest against the established government. I can't quote it word for word. I used to be able to.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that this is supposed to be a place. The word liberty, right? What does the Pledge of Allegiance say at the end? It says, "With liberty and justice for all."
Yes.
Right? With liberty. Not with liberal injustice for all. That's what some people are changing that to.
Yeah.
It's liberty and justice for all, which means you have liberty. You have the right to drive across a state line without having to show a passport.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the right to speak whatever language you want. I know many people say we should have an established language, but we don't. Many people say we should have an established religion, but we don't. Thank God we don't.
Thank God, yes, for sure.
Thank the universe, if you want to say it that way. I prefer to say God. But anyway, that's me. And I have the freedom to do that. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And you have the freedom to live your life your way, have your culture in your home. You know, and it just boggles my mind that we don't grasp the very, very, very core of who we are.
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind that somebody can say, we're going to give free education to anybody who wants to go to college. Just give it to you.
Yeah.
And then what? Who's going to pay for that? Because who's going to pay the teachers?
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to pay them. Who's going to pay? Oh, you and I will. Okay, well, then I'm going to pay the teachers. Why don't I pay the teachers for my own son to go to school?
Yep.
Do you know? I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. There are some things that taxation makes sense for. Bridges and roads and schools and libraries.
Exactly.
Police departments, fire departments. There are things that taxes make sense for.
That's right.
But there are things that just you can see are a waste. It's kind of like the global warming conversation. When I have on this show a guest who tells me that you and I, human beings, are causing global warming, and I don't contest that because I'm not a scientist. He's quoting a scientist. He himself is not a scientist, by the way, but he's quoting one. You and I have spoken to more scientists than he ever will. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
And we have many scientists who disagree with that, but let's just take one conversation at a time and look at this, because this happens all the time, whether you're talking about taking away guns or you're talking about using less light, fewer lights, or driving a more fuel-efficient car, right? They don't. The people who are preaching these things to us don't. They're flying around in jets. They get in a jet after they tell everybody to be more frugal with their energy use. You know, and then they justify it by saying, "Well, I pay a tax credit." Money? You think that paying money to the government actually undoes the pollution you just put in the air?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
How can they actually think that? Oh, I pay a tax credit.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. So in other words, the rich can get away with anything. The rich can have an armed guard at their door. They can't own a gun because they made a rule, no gun owners. But you know you can have an armed guard because they qualified.
That's right. Exactly.
So when we talk about the whole basis of what this country is about, the one thing I wish people would do in their debates, which, by the way, we're woefully unskilled in debate. When I listen to a debate, I think this is not a debate. They're never debating.
No.
If you're going to tell me that we need to have the guns removed from, the freedom to own a gun, whatever, or a weapon, or a way to protect yourself, then I will say to you as a debate point, then what shall we do to defend ourselves? If you're going to tell me that I need to be driving a more fuel-efficient car to stop polluting the Earth's atmosphere, then I'm going to say to you, then when will you then when will you begin to not fly in an airplane everywhere you go, every time you turn around?
Exactly.
A private airplane, by the way.
That's right.
There's not even other people in the plane except for maybe your wife,
Yeah.
your kids.
And your secretary.
You're not flying with 400 other people the way the common people do.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, let's look at the other news. Phone lines are open if you want to call in, 622-9622.
Well said.
It's just, you know what, maybe well said, maybe not. I mean, but everybody knows these things. Even if you don't say them well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it just, you don't mess with history. And bottom line, you follow the rules when you go anywhere. So, that's ridiculous.
It's just people dictating to us, the common people, people dictating to us how we should live our lives in a land that is liberty. We have liberty, freedom, and liberty.
Yeah.
What does it say? Liberty and justice for all. So I have freedom to do whatever I want, but guess what? If somebody hurts me, or if I hurt somebody, let me turn it around, let me make me the bad guy, then justice should prevail, and I should serve whatever, may pay the penalty for whatever it is I did.
Yeah.
So yes, you cannot get away with robbing people or stealing, killing people.
And what you're saying is backed up. When I was gone last time, we went to Williamsburg, which is like living history, and we took the tours. We listened to the people that were portraying George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Sam Adams, all these guys. And what they were saying made a lot of sense. We could even ask them questions of the day, and they would answer that way. They're very smart men. Then we went to New York, and we went to different places. We were on Liberty Island. We went through the entire museum, took the walking tours. We saw the actual poem, the Statue of Liberty poem there. We read everything. We heard voices from the immigrants that were actually coming over, and it's very emotional and it's very historical, and everybody should be immersed in this, and then these guys wouldn't be saying what they're saying and being so condescending to people, because it opened your eyes. This is the way it was, and this is the way we should be. It's just so, it's so ridiculous now. For the way it is. Everybody wants to be God. Everybody wants to be a king.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Larry and Rob. This is Bishop Jackson calling. How are you?
Hey, Bishop Jackson. Good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Long time no here. Trust everything is well.
Yeah, doing good.
I like the direction that you're going in freedom and justice for all. The question is like, what in this world that we're living in? Because there was a time that our communities, as those of us that are baby boomers know, they were controlled because we didn't have the information. So it all depends on where you were, how freedom and justice was established. But now that we have globalization, the question is that what is that going to look like? Now, I'm a proponent for English being the language, because as I travel, if you go out of country anywhere, when you go to various places, you have to learn the language, the main language of the country that you go to, or in order for you to be able to function or be accepted. I think that we should have English as a main language. We'll give every opportunity for people who are coming into our country legally to be able to learn the language and work with them, as many amenities that is needed to make that happen. But the question is that how will we arrive at the place of freedom and justice for all with the way globalization is? What is that going to look like, and who can make those kinds of decisions?
Well, okay, in our borders, though, is what we're talking about. We're not talking about the world, and I understand the globalization situation we're in right now. As far as the language is concerned, I think what I'm trying to say, yeah, and you're right, English is the main language, but I think establishing an official language in the country is a mistake, because other countries that have official languages, now many Western countries that have official languages, this doesn't apply to, but a lot of countries in the world, you can't put a sign up in your shop window that says something in Spanish or something in another language. You have to put the sign in your window. If you're selling, I don't know, Latino food or something, you have to put it in the language of the country if it became official, if English became official. This way you're free. You're free to put whatever language you want in the window. If people don't come and buy your food because they don't know what you're talking about, that's the freedom part of what we have, and it's what we're promised.
Yeah, good point. It's that's what makes us the United States of America.
Correct.
It's a fantastic thing, but we got a long way to go in working out some levels of cohesiveness as a people. And I think it's not a party-specific thing. I think it's a people coming together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's not party specific. Yeah, and I think it's us. We have to pay attention to what the founding fathers were not perfect. Their words were more perfect than they were. They made a lot of mistakes. They didn't have liberty and justice for all. They didn't have it for everybody. They wrote about it, but they didn't have it.
That's right.
but the words were perfect, and that's our foundation, are those words. And I think if we stand by those words and try to make those words as true as we can, then it's kind of like fulfilling a prophecy that they made, but they didn't exactly live. Obviously.
Interesting point. Wow, that's good. That's good. Yeah. We got to have foresight, insight, and everything else.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic day.
Good to hear from you. You too. Yeah, I think, if you write down your goal, for example, that you're going to become the head broadcaster at the radio station, let's say. That's your goal, all right?
That's right. Exactly.
I feel so sorry for you if that's your goal. but if that's your goal and you write it down and you're not there, and you keep working toward that's, I think, how I look at the words that our founding fathers wrote. They themselves were not extending a hand of liberty and freedom to everybody. Obviously, we had slaves in those days, so they weren't living the very thing they were writing. Women couldn't even vote.
Exactly.
So there was a lot of learning, a lot of growing we had to do. But those words, it's kind of like anything. It says, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I always like that line that says, "In the beginning was the Word," because it really words begin everything.
That's right. Exactly.
It's not to be religious in that way,
but all throughout history, everybody was moving forward. If there was a problem, like women didn't vote, they moved. It was everybody moved forward until they could vote. If there was any other kind of problem, you moved forward and you got it done, and then you moved on to the next thing. You didn't keep dwelling in the past.
Correct.
And saying, "Oh, woe is me! Look what happened."
No, you're not wrong. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. What I want to add to what you just said is that the wind blowing into the sail that moves the ship forward are those words. If we didn't have those words that were established in the Declaration of Independence, in the Constitution, and in the case that I'm reciting right now, the words from Emma Lazarus, or even the Pledge of Allegiance, if we didn't have those words,
right,
there'd be no wind in that sail. We would not be moving forward. Those words give us the idea that we are not. When you hear everybody's freedom for all, you hear that, right? And you look around and say, well, that guy's not, he's not, there's no freedom for him.
Right.
Then you have to do something to correct that. And we're still doing it to this day. We have, people who think differently than us, who have different ideas about how their lifestyle should be, and they're discriminated against. So we figured out, wait a minute, we haven't quite got it right yet.
Exactly.
And just like you're saying, but I think without that established sentiment that only exists in the form of words, we wouldn't have any wind in that sail. The ship wouldn't be moving forward.
That's right. I concur.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey, Hugh.
Say, just an observation about language and everything. All the airlines throughout the world speak one language, and that's English. And the English language in the world is not the leading language. It probably, there's more people speaking Spanish and Russian and Chinese and whatever, but for all aircraft everywhere in the world, English is the language that is used. And probably only because the fact that I would imagine that most aircraft was built in the United States and everything reads English on the dashboard or whatever, so that's probably why it turned out to be that way. But it's interesting. You go anywhere in the world and everything is spoken English as far as aircraft is concerned.
Okay, but that's not a government demanding that you speak a certain language. The whole point of having freedom in this country is to say, we are not going to tell you what God to worship. We're not going to tell you what food to eat. We're not going to tell you what language to speak. The mayor in New York City decided he was going to tell people you shouldn't be drinking Coca-Cola. Right, or something of that sort, right?
The large cup size,
or put a gigantic tax on it, or something.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's the government telling you what you shouldn't drink. We have to figure out a way to stop people from continuously taking away our freedoms and realize what this country is supposed to be about. And language is a huge part of it. Yeah, you're right. In airlines, I don't know this for a fact. I'm taking your word for it, and I'm pretty sure you're right. I don't know about the Arabic airlines. They probably speak Arabic when they're in the air, I would think.
I would imagine, yeah.
In China, they probably speak Mandarin. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's not a government. That's not a government demanding that you speak a certain language. That's not a government telling you cannot put a sign up that is in a different language. If you go to Quebec in Canada, they speak French, and they don't allow English on their road signs. How about that?
That's right.
How about that? They don't even allow it. So there's a government telling them what language they cannot speak or what language they must speak. You know, I love Quebec. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
But the point is, they don't have the freedom we have. I could put up a French sign right now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I could put up a German sign. Nobody would care.
Exactly.
People might care.
Yeah.
And it might not get the job done I'm trying to do. But if you're trying to communicate a message, obviously you want it in a language people will understand. And I speak language. I speak English too. And the only language I really speak. I can ask you if your dog has fleas in German. That's about it. Or I can tell you I love you.
Oh, there you go.
I can do those two things. Those are my two big claims to fame. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that took up our whole segment. All right, we're gonna take a little break. Galen Unald is up next. What was my topic with Galen?
Extreme rock climbing walls in America.
The extreme. That'll
and the
light.
fastest rock climber.
Well, I guess I went on a tangent for one simple reason. When you hear the news, first of all, the guy, what was his name again? Ken Cuccinelli. When you hear what he said, he's saying it tongue in cheek, but he's not recognizing the fact that people are going to run with what he said and post it on him, make
he's
it
an
his.
idiot.
I don't know that he's an idiot. See, I don't want to do that either. I don't want to say that. I think he was trying to make a point, but at the same time, it was a poor choice of a way to make a point. I think you should come to this country knowing that you've got to, figure out a way to handle things yourselves. Because guess what? When the city or the county decides to bail out a company in our community because they're going under, nobody bailed out WTMC when it went under. So everybody's for their own sake. We'll be right back.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. It's reported that guards who were supposed to be checking on Jeffrey Epstein before his prison cell suicide in New York were sleeping on the job and falsifying records.
Attorney General William Barr temporarily reassigned the warden of the Metropolitan Correctional Center. He also placed the 2 guards assigned to Epstein's unit on administrative leave. The union representing the guards tells Fox News Epstein's death is the fault of the Bureau of Prisons for systemic understaffing and overworked guards.
Fox's Brian Yennis. The San Francisco School Board votes to cover up but not destroy a mural of George Washington, slaves, and dead Native Americans at a high school.
The work will be covered over with panels depicting what they term the heroism of people of color in America. Opponents had called that mural racist and offensive. Supporters said destroying it would have been an act of historical and artistic censorship.
Fox's Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
Pros like you expect more out of the brands you use every day. Lowe's gets it. It's why we stock the best brands so you can get the job done right every time. And now we're offering Pro customers a chance to give one of those brands a try for free. Right now, pros can get up to 10 gallons of Valspar paint absolutely free and experience firsthand how Valspar delivers a smooth application and reliable color for all your touch-up work. Take your next paint job to the next level. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in Orlando and Phoenix stores only. Requires return authorization number. See Pro Desk for details.
Summer is here, and Matt's got the barbecue out all ready to grill. That's why he trusts Super Poly Grip, so he can enjoy his steak with full confidence.
Poly Grip.
Sounds like there's a party going on, but something's missing. The birthday gal's arrived, and thanks to Polydent, her bright smile is anything but a surprise.
Polydent.
Visit Southeastern Trailers today. We have new and used enclosed cargo and open utility trailers, along with built-to-order trailers. We service all brands of cargo and utility trailers, installation of hitches, wiring and electric brake controls, and installation of trailer accessories, with locations in Ocala and Ormond Beach to serve all of Central Florida. Call 1-888-622-1816. Again, that's 1-888-622-1816.
Broadcast.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. The Appleton Museum of Art has a new director. Museum officials announced yesterday that Jason Stuber will take over for Cindy Morrison, who had been with the museum since 2012. Florida State Representative Anna Escamani has filed a bill that would prohibit private schools from discrimination based on a student's disability, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Broward County Sheriff Gregory Toney says a new state-of-the-art surveillance center will monitor live video feeds at more than 260 public schools and administrative buildings in his county.